Oh boy, it's time, the definitive, indisputable One Piece arc ranking. The past 20 years of my life were all for this video, or rather, these videos. Because this anime has more arcs than most anime do episodes, I'll have to make this a multi-parter. Now, as much as I love this anime, even I'll acknowledge the first few arcs were pretty mid, and I definitely think One Piece fans have a bad habit of overhyping everything Oda does, but I digress. Also, this ranking list will be from worst to best, so without further ado, here we go.
Salt warning. This video contains many opinions. If you are sensitive to or easily triggered by this, you have been warned.
Starting strong with the weakest arc, it's Skypiea time. Okay, I guess Long Ring Long Land is technically worse, but I refuse to dignify it with a place on this list. It's so bad. Anyway, with how good the build-up to Skypiea was, and all the cool concepts, it could have been way better. The history of Shandora, the poneglyph at the end, the fact that it's a condensed version of the entire One Piece story. This is all nice. The problem is, it's just boring. None of the characters in this arc matter for the rest of the story, and the plot was unbearably boring. And it drags on for so damn long. Also, that Satari guy and his stupid fucking siblings, literally the worst part of Skypiea. Little Garden. I'm gonna be honest, the main reason this is above Skypiea is because it's shorter. I mean, people hype up the fact that it foreshadows Elbaf, but I was never interested. Aside from the whole Mr. Prince part, which is one of the best moments in One Piece, the arc was pretty trash. Orange Town. It was okay. My boy Buggy absolutely carried this arc, coming through with some fire-ass humor. It just sucks that, like the last two arcs, the plot and characters in this arc were mid. Like some washed-up pirate is trying to take over some bumfuck village. Who cares? Giant lion destroys some pet food store. Am I supposed to feel something? Granted, we did learn of Buggy and Shanks' connection, and it's always great to see more from the latter, but that won't save this arc. Above Orange Town, though not by much, is Syrup Village. First of all, can we just talk about how trash of a villain Kuro is? Man of 1,000 plans my ass. Bro spent 3 years earning the trust of a rich girl to inherit her money, only to get wrecked by a rubber kid. Every time Kuro's edgy ass was on screen, I literally died. And then there's Usopp, the most annoying yet funny Straw Hat. Unfortunately, this arc mostly shows us his annoying side. And then there's those 3 turds that constantly follow him. Oh, not gonna lie. The only reason this arc is above Orange Town is Django. Whiskey Peak. This one's pretty middle of the road for me. The introduction of Robin and the build-up to Crocodile were great. However, the fight with Luffy and Zoro was fucking retarded. Zoro is his right-hand guy, the one Luffy should trust most. Yet Luffy is so quick to turn on him, and all because of food? Like, I understand Luffy is simple-minded, but this almost seems out of character for him. Not too much to say about this arc. Like I said, I'm pretty neutral with it, and since it's both short and just a setup arc, there isn't much substance to it. 5 out of 10 might watch again. This is the point in the list where the arcs start to get good. Next is Romance Dawn. As far as manga goes, it was a pretty good start to the series, and an even better first chapter. It shows us the inspiration for Luffy becoming a pirate, as well as the man who Luffy would adopt his ideologies from. Shanks. Like knowing what battles need or don't need to be fought, or that actions carry more weight than threats. This arc also introduces Zoro, and the trust between him and Luffy that would only get stronger as the story goes on. Overall, it's a fun arc, slowly setting the foundation for Luffy's crew and the rest of the story. Alabasta. With Crocodile's hunt for the ancient weapon Pluton and Robin's ability to read poneglyphs, this is where the mystery of the Void Century begins. It introduces a history so lost to time, its existence can only be proven through the indecipherable poneglyphs. And everything about Nico Robin, from her being hunted by the government since she was 8, to her ability to read poneglyphs, to her connection with Crocodile, is shrouded in mystery as well. Also, with the introduction of Ace and his whole search for Blackbeard, the world-shattering events of the Marineford War are slowly being put into place. Oh, I guess I should talk about the main plot of Alabasta itself. Crocodile was cool. Miss Merry Christmas was funny. In all honesty, I wasn't too invested in the revolution going on in Alabasta. But I do like how the Straw Hat's actions, as well as the corruption of a warlord, forced Smoker to reevaluate his sense of justice. The flawed warlord system, and the way the government tries to cover up Crocodile's defeat, gives us a taste of how corrupt the government is. This arc does a lot for the rest of the story, which I really appreciate in hindsight. The main things holding this arc back are the plot and the backstories. But Mr. Two's interactions with the Straw Hats were gold, so... Elbaf, the Land of Giants. At the time of this video, this arc would be in the middle of Loki's flashback, around Chapter 156. Speaking of his flashback, I'd say it's shaping up to be a good one. Getting a bit of Odin vibes from Loki. Who knows, maybe Loki will be even better than Odin. Ha, nope. Anyway, a lot of crazy shit is going down in Elbaf, with the Moose presence taking center stage. They've been built up for years at this point, so I'm looking forward to seeing more from them. And with Scopper being there and Shank's connection to Elbaf, I'm expecting to learn more about the Roger Pirates as well, though that might be wishful thinking. The reunion of Robin and Sal was nice, especially considering how much shit this woman lost. However, the issue with this arc is that it doesn't fully reach what it could have been, at least not yet. Like, people expected this to be Usopp's big arc, sort of like the Zoro Wano situation, but so far, Usopp hasn't done much. I never really cared much about the Giants though, even back in Little Garden, so maybe that plays a part. Still like this arc more than Alabasta though, so maybe it's just the thrill of seeing what happens next in this arc. Drum Island. Putting aside the fact that the worst Straw Hat was introduced in this arc, I actually liked it. I think Dalton and Kuria were great, and the flashback with Haralock was pretty good, though his speech was definitely overrated. Luffy's struggle to save Sanji and Nami was powerful, and really proved his worth as a captain. What was truly great about this arc, though, was the end, with the reveal of Blackbeard and the Will of D, with the latter adding another layer of mystery to the world and the Void Century. Also, the Reverie is foreshadowed in this arc, and considering its importance to the rest of the world, pretty huge. Thriller Bark. First of all, respect to Brook. For all the tragedy, all the 50 years of solitude, with his only company being the corpses of his friends, Brook kept living and pushing on. We're also introduced to the absolute GOAT, Bartholomew Kuma, a warlord of the sea. Everything he did had us wondering more and more about him. He gave himself to the world government, yet he's also a member of the Revolutionary Army. Every move he made in this arc became even greater retroactively. Hot take time, but I actually like Gecko Moria a bit. I mean, he's presented as the defeated loser of a warlord, barely hanging on to his title thanks to his zombie slaves. But I think it perfectly builds up the terror of the New World, and specifically Kaido. Like, the foreshadowing to Wano in this arc goes crazy. Oh, and I guess I should talk about the nothing happened moment. It's a great show of Zoro's character, as the first mate of the crew, putting the life and dream of his captain above his own. He did it not for appraisal from Luffy, but purely to protect him. It's a great moment, it's just not as great as people hype it up to be. Oh, and shout out to the comedy gold that is Usopp versus Perona. Return to Sabaody. The satisfaction of the Straw Hats reuniting and flexing their strength just makes this arc, nothing more to it. Oh, and the reveal that Kuma protected their ship during their time apart. It really added more mystery to the warlord, one that would get its satisfying conclusion much later. Very aptly placed, next is Fishman Island. Another arc that was built up for years, yet didn't fully realize its potential. The highlight of this arc was definitely the Fisher Tiger flashback, the relationship between fishmen and humans. The backstories of characters like Hancock, the Sun Pirates. It all starts to make sense in this arc. When first introduced, we view Along as some evil monster who hates and looks down on humans, and all that's still true. But the flashback shows us all the racism and prejudice humans exhibited towards fishmen, painting Along's hatred of humans in a new light. And the fact that Nami, one of Arlong's many human victims, was able to put her trauma aside and forgive Jimby, shows a strength of character that I feel goes unappreciated. Now let's talk about Fisher Tiger himself. Despite being a fishman, he risked his life to free the slaves and marry Jew, humans and all. And he, along with the Sun Pirates, would help return one of the slaves to her home. But despite his efforts to help humans, ultimately they would be the ones to claim his life. Something I love about his character is that, ironically, he's very human. He wasn't some perfect guy that loved all humans. He was constantly fighting off demons in his heart, deeply suppressing his hatred for humans. And considering he himself was once a slave of the Celestial Dragons, yeah, can't really blame him. In his final moments, and with his true feelings brought to light, he entrusts his cause to the rest of the Sun Pirates, no longer believing in his own ability to forgive humans. God, what a character. This arc does a really good job of showing the good, bad, and nuance of both humans and fishmen. Hody being indoctrinated into the all-humans bad mentality since childhood, the dragons' hatred for fishmen, Nami's forgiveness for them, and it all makes the moment at the end, where Jimby shares his blood with Luffy. all the more impactful. I didn't even talk about the Joy Boy and Poseidon reveal. This arc really starts to unravel the Void Century mystery, while simultaneously raising more questions. Who was Joy Boy? What was the promise he made to Poseidon? You know what? Fuck what I said before. This arc is beast. And that concludes part 1 of this ranking. And judging by how long this video is getting, splitting this up was probably for the best. So until the next one, peace out.